car fans, welcome to the Muscle Car Modeler. My name is Revell, and this week's build I'm featuring here is another modern Mustang Shelby. This is a 2013 Shelby GT500. It is kind of weird to think that this is now a 10-year-old car, classic car and everything, but I really like this particular time in this body style and some of the changes that were going on with it, and just some of the looks and everything. And even, they had the Boss 302s came out in 12 and 13. Just thought those were just very striking cars with some of the updates that they had done to the body and some of the things that were going on. And of course, the Shelby was no different, even though this is a Shelby, but it's not sold through Shelby, as the agreement with Ford for 2007 and later that Ford sold Shelbys through the dealerships, and you can buy those, and you can buy hopped up post-title Shelbys from Shelby American themselves in Vegas and just get them tweaked and updated, and they would build these into some serious bad boys. But even the package here, right from SVT, in 2013, this was a pretty powerful, potent performer. Capable of said to be able to do 200 miles an hour, and it had a 5.8 liter that was with a big supercharger on it that was able to produce 662 horsepower and 631 foot-pounds of torque. So that was quite a beast, and really only just a few years back, going to 2010 specs, which Revell makes a kit of that one. That's when it had the 5.4 liter, and it was making 540 horsepower. And that car was electronically governed to 155 miles an hour. So they couldn't go any faster electronically, but the potential was there. And it was doing like 12.5 in the quarter mile, the 2010 was, where this one was breaking into the 11s. 11.9 or something like that in the quarter mile. So definitely some improvements and everything in the performance aspect of the car. And the price went up to reflect it as well. But still wasn't too bad. It was right around $60,000 from Ford. So when you look at what Shelby's run recently, it's like, okay, it still seems like a bargain. Even though the Camaro was close on its tail as far as performance went. But these, I just really like the way these things look. They just got the look to go with them, in my opinion. When it came to the look, though, some of the main differences, the biggest thing I really like is I really like those taillights. They're kind of a neon taillight, but all of the 13 Mustangs had that versus the 2010 offerings. But that was one of the things I really liked, is how they lighted up and how they worked. A little hard to replicate in scale here, but they give you the decals and stuff to do it. So it came out pretty good looking. Some of the other things is that the front end got a little bit more aggressive, the grills and everything. You really get a good look at that if it'll focus. There we go. Don't get too close. But a lot of that's the conversion kit in there as far as how that looks. But she was a beast and a pretty nice performer. This particular build is plagued by the Revell kit's problem of having the suspension too high. And I didn't adjust or sand for it on this one. And most of mine I didn't. I think the blue convertible I adjusted for a little bit. But this one I built it pretty much out of the box with the conversion, and not really paying a whole lot of attention to that till I got to the end. But there's the underside with the manual tranny and the engine. And it details out really, really nice. Same thing with the engine here. So when it comes down to this kit, really nice modular Coyote motor right there. So more of a modular motor. I think the Coyote came a little bit later, the 5 liter, but this one's supposed to represent the 5.8 liter. But I don't recall any of the conversion kit pieces in here other than the photo etch on the valve covers. So this is a Plamoz resin conversion for the Revell 2010 kit, which of course there's the box art. But I talked about my previous build. This is the 2010 kit right here. So, you can immediately see some of the differences. The front isn't much different, but you do have to open up the grills, and it comes with the different grill inserts in there. And then all of the photo etch coolers that go on the inside, which one make this thing really pop. And then that Shelby emblem is a photo etched emblem as well. So, and then there's a whole other splitter that goes on top, not really on top, but underneath the other splitter, just like the real car. Hoods are the same, but the wheels are Plamoz as well, wheels and tires, and then photo etched disc brakes in there, resin brakes. So the wheels and brakes are all part of it. That snake right there is photo etched, and all the decals are actually Plamoz as well. Now it's got different front seats that are part of the kit, but they're pretty much the same seats that are in the Boss 302 kit. Just a resin copy of those, it seems like. And then, you know, the gauges and everything. The manual tranny, which I don't think any of that was really added to the kit. And then, of course, the spoiler. All the rear bumper assembly, taillights, and everything. Some of it pretty much copied right from the Boss kit. Tweaked a little bit, but made to look like the 2013. So there's your comparison of the 2010 versus the 2013 there. Spoiler's the same. The Shelby lettering is all photo etched as well, along with the license plate. And then, of course, the mufflers, and then this whole rear valance, that's all Plamoz parts as well. But the rest of the chassis is all the same. Like I was mentioning, the engine, I don't believe is any different, other than, you know, the photo etched right there on the valve cover. You can see that right there. But for comparison, here's the 2010, and I painted it like the 2010 colors, so there are some differences in the motor as far as colors go, but all the plastic is pretty much the same. Changing them over and everything. Stripes on the seats are pretty cool. So you can kind of see there's the kit seats right there, if it kind of shows through. But there's the 2010. There we go. And the 2013. I did this one as more of a ruby red, so I used a Tamiya spray, just the red mica, which I really like that, and I went with the white stripes on this one. So hopefully the colors are coming out really good here on the film and the camera here. But you know, other than the ride height, I'm really happy with this particular build, and you know, comparing it with my 2010. And it's a lot of fun doing some of these conversions, especially when they're fairly easy conversions and everything fits well. So those of you guys who aren't familiar with Plamoz, they popped up for a while and had a lot of neat stuff, not a whole lot, but a couple of conversion kits. But this was one that I really liked. And they also had a 2014 Camaro Z28 kit that I did buy. And that's one I did start, but never finished. I have that in my stalled pile. And I've been tempted to get another one of these kits and do one as a convertible, like a 2014 convertible, if the GT500 was available in a convertible. But entertained that idea, but had never picked one of these kits up, another one. But for a while, they kind of fell off the radar. They had their website up and going and accepting orders, but no new products. They announced some new products that didn't show up. So those of you guys who follow them or know of them or in their history. But they recently took their website down and announced on Facebook that they're moving from Hong Kong to Japan and are trying to get started back up. So that seems pretty cool and promising. So I hope some of the other projects that they announced years back do come to fruition and they come out. So kind of looking forward to that, because what they did make was great. And they, you know, did a little bit of this, a little bit of that, some of the modern muscle like this Shelby and that Z28. And they announced some of the Boss 302 parts for the 2012 and the 2013. So remember those and some other stuff that they announced too, but didn't come out. So I'd like to see that stuff come out. So it'd be pretty exciting and everything. But I kind of figured I would share this one for you. Go into one of my more modern builds here. As you know, I like the modern stuff too, and the technology and all of the stats and everything. So pretty cool. And I just kind of enjoy that kind of stuff. But you know, these Revell kits, and it's funny because they're getting hard to find now. These Revell Mustang kits. I do have one more of these unbuilt, just kind of in my stash. I wasn't looking for it when I found it, and it just came my way at the right price. You know, $10 sealed kit. So I grabbed it and just threw it in the stash for a possible later date. And, you know, maybe I'll get one of the Plamoz kits again to do another one of these. And they did offer these in 4 different color stripes and decals. so you can do all kinds of stuff with it. So that was pretty cool for the time, and I really do hope that they get their site up and running and everything going again. So those of you guys that are familiar with them. They also had some really nice 67 Shelby wheels that were very popular. I bought multiple sets of them, and I'm glad I did, because they disappeared, and that seemed to be a real high demand part for them. So I hope they watch this and everything and see this video. But anyway, thank you for tuning in and subscribing and all your comments. I really do appreciate you guys. And you have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you next Saturday. See ya.